You thank God for another beautiful week in the month of June, the 6th month in the year 2025. Today, the night is another beautiful holiday for all of us. Okay, courtesy our Muslim brothers and sisters as we still rejoice and celebrate this season with them. Okay, and how many of us actually have the privilege of enjoying the Salah, the Ileya Ram? I'm going to find out whether some people did. Thank God for life. Thank God for grace. Thank God for the privilege and the opportunity to be here this morning. How is the family? How is the home front? Mommies and daddies at home, how are you doing with the kids? It's another season for holidays, so enjoy it while it lasts. Tomorrow is going to be another busy day, and you may have to face your business or go for your professional assignments or career here and there. So please enjoy with the children. They really need that time, that moment together. Maybe go for a cinema, or go to a very nice, natural ambience environment. It goes a long way. You can go for picnic. It helps. That's what family and value is all about. We just need to remind ourselves some of those things that we feel we're too busy to see or concentrate on, or find time to actually implement into our life, into our family. And if there are those, the single ones out there, especially the single youths there, you can also swallow yourself, give yourself a treat. Or think of something, mindful that will help you to also build yourself. Sometimes when you go through all this beautiful series of enjoying and relaxing, it helps to open your mind to new horizons. So it helps. Beautiful Monday it is. To me, and I believe you are also experiencing it. This is Galaxy Television, the program with family and values. It's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about the family society. What our beliefs and culture tradition talks about. How well are we holding on to these values? Perhaps when we talk about from Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning. So it's so good if you're just joining us today. You can always join us on all our social media platforms, from Facebook to our YouTube channel. It goes a long way. And for those who want to be on Instagram, just type galaxy.television in full, and you'll definitely be part of the family when it comes to anything entertainment. Now, regarding those who are willing or wish to be, totally committed to Galaxy programs, you can download the Galaxy mobile app. It goes a long way to also help you wherever you find yourself. You can just touch and you're on it live. Watch all our programs, the news, the information, and every other thing you deem fit. Now, I came in this morning and someone is saying, this was what I was expecting you to get. We are still doing Eid Mubarak. We are still doing Ramadan, not Ramadan. We're still celebrating the Eid Mubarak celebration. And so I just decided to come this way this morning so that my people, I ate Ileya Ram, but I don't know about that. My name is Remain Olori Adejoke, and today my friends call me Olori AJ. So you can always call me, what do I call myself? Badarat. Okay, so we can change our lives. We can do and have and be exactly what we wish. We can change our lives. We can do, have, and be exactly what we wish. All we just need is your faith, because you cannot walk through that path without God. So that's my challenge for you this morning. Be yourself, be confident of who you are. You are beautifully and wonderfully created. You are destined for greatness. So do those things that will make life meaningful to you. Joy.
Good morning to you. Good morning. I looked at it, but that's what I said. I said on Friday would have been perfect for this look, but you just said something. So we are still celebrating Ileya.
Yes.
Now I saw you eating a lot of ram. I hope you brought ram from
me. Why would I brought for you? Why you ate your own alone? Chop alone. All those people won't chop alone.
I told Blossom ate ram and she didn't give me. I'm coming for all of them.
On Friday and Saturday, I did not remember family and values when my own time called. She said Mary is pregnant. That's what she said on Friday. Where my own time comes.
Oh my goodness, yes, so I was telling all my Boki friends, Mary is pregnant with Jesus. December is coming. So chicken is by the way. You didn't give me. You didn't give me. Good morning and welcome to the show. It's a free Monday. Yes, when I say free Monday, the roads are extremely very free. So you could go to wherever you want to go to. But be careful, when the roads are free, the tendency to speed is always there. So please try and reduce your speed limits if you are driving on the Ikeja axis. I am Princess Joy Eyo Abu. Welcome to the show. It's Monday. It's relaxing. I decided to come out Team Natural. Let's just keep it calm, cool, and collected as all the mommies are having their holidays at home. Enjoy, because tomorrow will be busy. Leave the daddies. The daddies maybe will go and watch Bob, but it's now for the mommies to now clean. Everybody is trying to, and then the kids also are experimenting break. So it's a whole lot shouting, talking, screaming. But while you're doing that, self-care is very important. Your mental health is key. Welcome to the show. Enjoy the show with us.
Okay, so do you have any birthday shout out?
No, I don't have any birthday shout out, but to everyone celebrating, we celebrate you too, and happy birthday and anniversary to everyone.
Okay, so don't celebrate it today. Yesterday was Abayomi Akala's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Also to Wale Rubobo and Olabisi Omidiri of Eco FM. Happy birthday to all of you. Wish you the very best of today. It's going to be another wonderful year for you. I will pray that for all that you desire, and wish the Almighty God will visit you. And to those having anniversaries, we love you. I will pray you continue to have many more, strong bonds in that relationship. It's time for us to go for a mini feature, and we'll be right back because our guest is right here. You just need to see it. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's the Family and Values, and this morning, mommies and daddies, like I said, it's an opportunity for you to grab one or two things that we'll be discussing today. Young mommies and those out there. Yes, busy mommies and daddies, absentee mommies, not available caregiver mommies. You are always living to nannies. This is an opportunity for you. You are not paying except you are just using the data to actually streamline as we're discussing this morning. Now, this morning regarding our children, that's all we're focusing on. So every child has got a learning style. Learning style can come from different angles in different ways, and that's why we've gone all the way to bring you a parenting coach this morning, a family therapist, a counselor, and also a recovery personnel, okay? Drug addict personnel who always go all out to recover them and help them and put them through this process. So this means within our children, their learning styles, and we have with us BC. I know it's not BC. Maybe you're not BC or BC. I love names in full. Okay, so I will use Olabisi and I will use Olubukola Innocent. Okay, so we have Olabisi Olubukola Innocent in the house. She is a parenting coach, a family therapist and counselor, an addiction recovery therapist in the house.
Good morning and welcome to the show.
Looking cool.
Always cool. We are repping Team Natural this morning, and I love that fact.
Thank you. After a while. It's days like this
you can see them. It's days like this. Aside days like this, forget it.
And all this.
Once the school resume, forget it. You can't see them.
That's why we have to drag her in. She wanted tomorrow. I said, thank you for honoring me.
Thank you.
So, a lot is happening.
Yeah.
And we know you can share your experience. We know you can help us and help many parents out there watching us right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the question I want to ask is this: what are children's learning styles? Why do we need to understand their learning styles? What are learning styles?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I'm so grateful for the privilege to be here. Thank you so much. Learning style. So when we talk about learning style, we're talking about ways different people assess knowledge, the way they could assess knowledge, easily taking knowledge, information, and retain them best. You know, we all have different ways through which we assess knowledge easily. We could assimilate them easily and then process them and also retain those knowledge. So when we talk about learning style, that is all about learning style. Basically, that's just a summary of what I want to say about learning style. So why is this important? It's important in every aspect of life, not just for parents, but even in relationship. You know, while I was coming here this morning, I started processing some things and I quite understand that if I had known or had paid attention to this part of learning early enough, there are some challenges or some funny things I would have done, you know, even with my husband. So when it comes to learning style, it helps you to know how best people receive information. Because sometimes it boils down to discipline too. You know, when we try to discipline children, we felt that probably they are not listening, they are not hearing, because in our society there is a predominant perception that that is the way people should learn. You understand? And because of that, almost every one of us are tilted towards that direction. Mm-hmm. And so anyone that is not responding from that direction, we tag them, we label them, you know, all the stuff. Then it affects our relationship too. You understand? So I feel that if we all understand what learning style is and how it affects us, how people could access information, take in information and process them, bulk of the challenges we're having with children, even with adults and relationship, will have been dealt with.
Would have been dealt with. Now, what are the parents' responsibility when it comes to their children's learning style? You know, sometimes we will say, okay, it's the parents' responsibility to do this, to do that. Now we are talking about learning style. What is the responsibility? What is the role of parents in all of this when we are talking about learning style?
I've always said that the greatest challenge I've seen with parenting is that parents do not know and they never know they don't know. That's the greatest
Parents
challenge.
do not know and they never know they don't know. I love that.
So, the best way to, thankfully this generation or this time, we have so many opportunities to learn and to do better. There are quite a number of parenting academies right now and they have helped us to learn quite a number of things. I run one too. And one of the things I always say to parents is when it comes to parenting your children, it is actually not instinctive, it is learned. So in the process of learning, it's easier for you to also say, okay, this is important, I'm learning. And the more you learn on this job, the better you become. So the role of parenting in this learning style is, in the first place, parents should educate themselves about what learning style is and how it's enhanced their children's learning. The moment they even understand what learning style is, it will help them understand themselves and how they communicate. So they're able to communicate better with their children. And when the children are communicating, they can distill information better and it helps to build bond. Because like I always say that communication is a lifeline of any relationship. And if we're not able to communicate properly, the relationship is as good as
it's as good as that.
You understand? So learning style is saying, how do you communicate information to people? And they're able to process it, they're able to assimilate, and then they're able to give you the necessary or the needed feedback. So parents should do, the best parents should do now is to learn, go for information. And thankfully, technology is advanced. So take advantage of the internet. Go there, just research and glean more knowledge from that.
Okay, as we get more knowledge from that, I would also want to ask that we have some parents who don't have access to knowledge.
Okay.
Some are just the regular mothers out there who are not like, I don't want other one like my let me just concentrate on my market. Now they do that one. How do we bring this kind of parents? Mother who is selling
tomatoes,
petty items, tomatoes, pepper, perishable goods, vegetables, like
to my 12 as early as possible.
Market woman,
okay,
who is just concerned about something my daughter. Me, the book where I never read.
Go read them.
Me, I go face this market. Now go now go change my life. So how do we bring them to the understanding? Because some of them, these children take advantage of the fact that when they get into the midst of their parents, they take advantage of these parents because they know anything I ask my a child who wants to collect money for biology now, they break it into biology or 3. And the mother, someone who is not learned will just take. And we have heard things that even when our own time too.
It happened.
Years back, it happened. So how do we open their mind to the learning styles and what they need to guide themselves against?
Okay. Amazingly, like I always say to parents, parenting the way we know it back then is gone and it's gone forever. And that's because quite a number of things has changed. The way we run things these days is not the way it's being run back then. Okay, my girl is in school and she happened to go within my state. And sometimes when she go visit my mom, and I think the other she called and said, I don't just understand this girl. She's not listening. I said, no, she's listening. Just that 2 of you don't understand yourself. You could not compare the time I was going to school that I had to do a lot of things manually. And then here is a girl in school that is woken up with her phone, with her system. And when you say, I'm busy. Say busy. You just press, to her, she's just pressing. But she's actually in class. Yeah. She's learning. And you were like, and so she said, I don't want to go there. So you can understand that's generational parts. You understand? So one of the things I also observe is, as you said, this thing is that back in the days, so many of our parents too, they are not learned, but they were able to manage us. What was their skill that they had? Observational skills. You'll see that parents back then, they tend to understand that, you see, if she's reacting like this is a challenge with her. They could observe that anytime you say this to her, or you talk in this manner, this is their response. You understand? I actually do not know about, let me deviate a bit. I actually don't know about, love language with children. But I have an observation about my girl that, when it comes to verbal conversation, like, there's a way you should respond when when you want to talk to people, the love language too comes to play. Then when you're talking to her now, because she's somebody that responds more to affirmation. So when you use it in negative, the reaction is always, I actually didn't understand that until I began to pay attention. I said, okay, if I want to get her to do something, just once you affirm her, but when you now go the other way around, unlike my son, he's the hugging machine in my house. He wants you to touch him. And so if you want to get him to do something, just give him a prize do you understand? So it's the same way. So when you have those kind of mothers, those kind of fathers who are not so learned, observational skills are important. And I know that back in the days, this is what our parents use. They tend to know that this is what makes you different from this person. Anytime I approach this person in this manner, I get a better result. But if I play the same card with this person, it's just like, do you understand? So I think for them, observational skill is very important. And it's just that these days we're so carried away with making ends meet. Everybody is as early as possible out of your house, and we never have that time to bond with our children, so we're doing one more day. And on the other side, another thing that I say we've lost in this time is community parenting. Back in the days, we have community parenting. So I could be working in the neighborhood. I don't even necessarily have to know you. So if I'm not doing something properly and somebody who is elderly just stormed, there's a look on their face that tells you, get hold of yourself, you're messing up. You understand what I'm saying? And you're even afraid to get back to your house and tell your mom that somebody looked at me and said, get hold of yourself. You understand? So that community parent, one of those things that it does that, you will see that sometimes other parents in the neighborhood will say, have you not observed that? Yeah. When something like this is always the response. I think you should tilt towards this direction. So basically, observational skill is
very important.
And that was what they used in those days to raise a lot of us. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
observational skill.
It's time for us to observational skill. That's another topic for another people. We are going to drag down Tula to come and complete that. Okay, it's time for us to go for our break as we take our water, maple, and things like that. So says children learn from what you have and what you think. We've been discussing children, their learning skills, learning styles. What are the observational skills that our dear BC, is trying to tell us? Someone said BBI.
BBI. BBI.
Anyway, Joy, over to you.
Okay, so I want to ask, how can parents' devotion help children? Because in the course of conversation, you did mention parents that are busy, parents that are absent because of everybody's trying to make ends meet. Parents are running here. Look at today, we are here on the show, you understand? So, and for parents, how can their devotion, how can their time help children? And this is related to those absentee parents who don't, not because they want to be absent, but because it's necessary. They are bills to be paid. How can their devotion help children in their learning skills?
Okay, so like you said, some things are a necessity, and we cannot ask them to stay back at home because I won't pay the bill for them. And the bills they are mounting every day. As the children grow, the bills are growing.
Of course.
And we also want our children to have the best of life, so we needed to do something. But I also think that we can structure our life in such a way that our children are part of our life. Priorities are important. And the way we structure our life tells us what we value. What's our value system? Did you value your children? Like, our metrics, you understand? So for parents who are so busy, I like to say that it is not about spending the whole day with your children. Make every time count. You understand? I have a challenge on parent-child emotional bonding quite, I think we are in February or so. And what's the idea? Because oftentimes people call me and just talk to my children about this. I don't know where to start from, this and that. I grew up noticing a gap. I couldn't place a name on it until years later. And one of the things I observed is that there is this emotional gap between parents and children. We are as close as we are now, but we are different worlds apart because we are not emotionally connected. So that was the idea behind the challenge. And when we had the challenge, I saw quite a lot of reaction. I will not forget a particular woman who was like, she came online when I think I gave her an assignment and she said, my son is this huge. The nomenclatures were just so crazy. So I had to start talking with her. Amazingly, even before we started bringing her in for therapy, because she was going through all those challenges, she came up and said, I now realize where the error is. These are the errors, you understand? She could see that there was a gap. So what I'm simply saying is that one father said to me, categorically, now I understand that there is a need for us to make out time, no matter how small, to spend with our children. Make it a regular habit to spend time with them. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be 1 hour. But let the children know that once a day is back, or maybe every Saturday morning, or maybe every Friday, we have that easy, we have that is attention, and they paid attention to details. So devotion thing, just create that opportunity for your children to bond with you. You get to know them. They know that these are necessary things you have to do. But when you are there, and you are all in. Don't just be physically present, but emotionally absent.
You know, to an extent, I'm beginning to think now, at what point do we bring in this emotional connection? Because you raise your child and then the child gets to secondary school and you feel like this child should be old enough to take responsibility for certain things, right? And your career is growing. Do you understand it? So the pyramid is growing. In career, you're pursuing it. And the kids are also growing along. There are times that you might not even have even that 10 minutes to actually sit down and have deep. And when we talk about communication, we're not just saying, hello, how are you? We're talking about deep communications that's between the child, what the child is going through. And some children want to sit down and narrate their whole this thing to you, episode, how it happened. And you don't have that much 10 minutes to spend. As they grow, how do you connect with them?
Okay, so I actually went back to school, I just finished from Unilag, and I had to stay for quite a number of years. I remember that when I was starting, my son was quite a little bit young. And I remember him crying and saying, I should hold on. He wanted me to wait for him to finish secondary school and stuff like that, that close. And it wasn't easy for him, really. I remember some days when I come back during the weekend, and I've been told he's been crying, like he's missing me and stuff like that. But he grew through it. Now, at the point, I remember that, there was a particular day I have been so busy. Sometimes I come back, my husband wouldn't even want me to come back because I'm stressed already. So I remember the particular day and he came and said, for like 3 days, he wanted to talk to me about something, but I never had the time. You understand? So I think I sat down and I was washing and I remember I wanted to talk. So I just called him and I said, okay, come, sit down. let's have this conversation now. And instead of talking to me, and we had a conversation. You understand? Now, we could do that because when you say at what point do we start the emotional bonding? Emotional bonding starts as soon as, even from the womb, as soon as your children, emotional bonding is there. But you know that the moment you have that foundation laid already, when that accessibility is not available, or you're not able to attend certain things, they will know. Because that period is a period where everybody knows that it's a sacrifice. You need to pay the price for this moment to achieve this at this point in time. But notwithstanding, as parents,
what if it's that point that mistakes have been made?
Mistakes, wow. Yes, mistakes are inevitable. Because definitely as human, it doesn't matter how much you have taught to achieve certain things.
Mistakes are part of experience.
But what I always say to parents is this: if you have laid the foundation for them, I expect children to make mistakes because mistakes are learning process too. But I will not, I will also believe that they won't make crazy mistakes.
Yeah, that's avoidable.
Yes, because we already have a kind of, parenting is not just about, I gave birth to you. These are domestic church. It's about teaching, educating your children. And educating them is like, this is what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. Like, oftentimes, once ago, my night routine have been watching movies, especially with my son. So what do? Once we're watching movie, I deliberately pick movies, even I don't know why, I deliberately pick some movies because I want to teach certain things and I feel that visual images will be okay. So I've been teaching about narcissism for quite some time now. So when I see some movies, I say, watch this, let's watch together. So I started educating him from there. Don't just watch a movie and sit down and say you're watching a movie. Don't just play. There's something you're aiming at. So when you say there are times that you don't really have, there are times that I remember I came back from school one day, I was so tired, I was just lying on the floor. They were trying to sleep. Mom, I didn't say a word. They never even know I was there because I was just so exhausted. But there also be that opportunity for you to say, I've been busy all week for like 3, 4, 5 weeks. Let's just unwind. That unwind could be just 5 minutes. Them giving you that, you giving them that attention. So they could trust that now you're busy. But when you're not, you'll give them the attention.
Give them the attention. So giving them the attention, what roles can parents, play when we talk about communication? And this style, okay, what roles can parents' communication play to hedge the styles for the children's understanding?
Okay, I think we should start with
step by step,
Okay, I think we should talk about different learning styles because I would like to actually narrow down to VAC, and VAC is the visual learners, the auditory learners, the reading writing learners, and the kinesthetic learners. Now, visual learners are people that symbols and images play a major role for them. So when you're teaching them anything, if you have not given them symbols and images, you have not taught them. It won't really, they could not assimilate. And it's people like that if you meet me on the way and say, I'm going to some place and that way I get there. If I'm going to give you a description as a visual learner, it's easier for me to give you landmarks and tell you that when you get to this place, my husband is a visual learner. So sometimes when we're going somewhere, I'd be the one that taken to some places like, there is, I say, no, it's not there. He said, no, it's there. When you get to it, you just read it. And I'm like,
and then you discover that, how did he get
here? It took me to like, visual learners are like that. I got to class one, then I was asking the student like, how many of you could remember, because I was teaching them, I think I was teaching on learning style too. How many of you could remember the clothes I wore 3 weeks ago? And I saw a student, even when I wore the clothes, I didn't remember. By the time he was done describing, I could actually remember that, I think you were right. Those are visual learners. You cannot ask an visual learner, what am I wearing? He doesn't even remember. Do you understand? So visual learner will remember your gymnastic in the class, the way you're twisting your hand. They remember because they are visual. They are symbol oriented. They won't talk about auditory learners. They are hearing. Those are the kind of people that don't miss lectures. Because even if they don't come to, even they don't have notes, they could
sit down and replay the voice in their brain. So they are, you are speaking to them already through your brain.
For them, they are the type that want you to have discussion. When you say it's time for, they want to have discussion. So they retain information that way. If you want them to do anything, that's how they retain information. And it happens to children, even when it comes to instructions at home. Do you understand? Then when it comes to reading writers, for someone like me, that's my class.
Yeah.
Even till this morning, if I'm to study my Bible, if I'm not writing, it look as if I'm just playing. It is just a part of me. At first, I'm like, everybody said they study. I will read. I don't feel like I've done anything until at least I've taken a note. And it's people like me that you look as if they want to take all the things that the lecturer have said, they want to note it down. Those are reading writers. Then there are kinesthetics learners. These ones are the ones that they learn by movement. Let me use that word. They learn by, I used to say my son learn by distractions. They cannot sit still for 20 minutes and it's not possible.
Why is it common with boys?
It's not just boys, it's happen with girls. It's just that because boys are usually energetic, we think that it's common with them. So they are learning, you're talking to them, they're like,
you get.
As you're saying, come on, will you stop that? Before
you finish that, they cannot
be still. Kinesthetic learners. They can't be still. I used to have a student, I taught back then in Osholi. I used to have a boy, Elezuba. What's his name again? Oh my goodness, this boy is such a handful. You know, by the time you were saying, what is this? Will you just sit down? You say, you see, they always say, I'm sorry, before you turn to the board.
He's doing another.
But amazingly, when you ask a question in class, that same boy that you feel is not listening, will have the best answer for that question. So for people like that, you want them to get to do something. Activity is what works for them. You can't keep them still. Even if you're going to read books, you want them to get to read. Activity book is more important for them. And you know the funniest thing,
those are the ones that love the games, you know, they learn and then they do the Scrabble, they do the
and you know, sometimes
games.
People feel that because they are playing games, they are just distracted, they are not learning. No, it's not true. You get the point I'm saying. So when you're dealing with people, you get to understand how they learn in the first place. And then that will not help you to know how to relate with them. And like I said, it affects even our relationship at home. It took me time to understand that if I want to get my husband to understand what I'm saying, I needed to give him images. Once he has images, I don't have problem. You understand what I'm saying? You're talking to my daughter, you need to be sure that she can hear you, because if she's on, all those things you're saying, you're just on your own. She's auditory. I'm the reading writer. My son is a kinesthetic learner. But then the other thing you need to know is that all of us have this element of styles of learning in us. Just that one particular one is more predominant. And when we're relating with ourselves, when we want our children to learn, you start from the predominant styles. Then you can walk them through other ones. Like you can make a kinesthetic learner become an auditory learner, but you have to start from that kinesthetic part. You have to make them start reading and using the activity books, and because they are just like that. There are the times that when they are learning, after 10 minutes, they'll say, I want to go and use myself.
Yes, so.
By the time they are sitting there, I say, he's touching me. And you know, that kind of thing. So people like that, you have to give room for them. And you know, our Nigerian system of school, I think quite a number of schools are adjusting now. Our Nigerian system of school is built so much around auditory learners. You understand? So sometimes some children doesn't seem to be flowing
until you bring in and say, okay, everybody stand up, let's start, and then you start
then
changing the patterns.
When you now bring in maybe an external instructor and the person is like, but I thought they said this girl is not brilliant. The girl is brilliant, just like the person who is playing, because it's even a massive class. And so, but this person is not dealing with her one. I say, okay, I think this person is good with the image. So whatever he's saying, he's talking with the images, and they say, okay, do you understand? So it's important for us to understand that part, even when we want to discipline and give instruction. Sometimes I used to say, my girl is not listening, my daughter is not listening, my son is not. No, it's because your style of communicating with them is not the way they are learning. That's not the way they assimilate information, because they first have to receive it, process it, and then they are able to give back to you. So we need to understand that. I believe that once we're able to pick that, okay, anytime I'm talking to this girl, she's not processing it like that. So you need to begin to think of how well or better you have to do that so you can get the results you want.
But how can our government help, especially in public schools? Because one thing is for you to I want to believe the private schools, they are very well in trying to make sure that they are the best in certain things and get all this visual, auditory, reading learners, and also the kinesthetic learners. I want to believe they are working on that. But when you go to public schools, do you think this is well implemented of today when we talk about basic education?
Well,
reading them out very
you need it. You're free to. You need it. Very important. How can? Yeah.
Because really, I went to government school after going to private, but notwithstanding, that's where we finished. And I want to believe then it's different from me.
Of course, it's different. It's different.
Of these teachers who get to class, do their talking, do the mathematics, or do the drawing, and just like you said, many students, they really don't really have that one-on-one
Interaction.
unless, until when something happened and the parents will decide to say, can you just sit down, or the parent take an extra step to do that? How can we help them? What should the government do?
Okay, so when it comes to government school, I must say that our teachers are trying. They're trying because I've been a teacher for about 20 years, so I know what it entails to teach. And you get to encounter quite a number of children with different, and apart from the fact that they are coming to learn, they are coming with a lot of baggages to school, and especially in the government schools.
Yeah.
You understand? And I want to say shout out to all the teachers in government schools.
Let's clap for them. They're doing a great job. Let's clap for them.
I have to say that because apart from teaching, they take it a step further by getting involved in the children's life. I want to say getting involved. Some of them, yes, they teach in the class. They may not even know the fact, they may not even practice, but they tend to get into the emotional affairs. Because most children come to school, even if they are auditory learners and they are listening to you in class, because they have a backlog of emotional drama from home and society. So they are not even, you understand. So, government teachers, shout out to you. Thank you for the job you're doing, and you're doing amazingly well. But when it comes to implementing so we can get a better result from our children, I say it depends on individuals. When teachers come to school and they know that it's not just about making money, it's about I'm building the next generation, I'm building the future, and I want to do that. By the time I'm no longer there, what is it that comes out of this job for those children? You understand? So their personal development is very, very important. But I remember when I was in school, I went to a government school. So when I was in school, at intervals, just go for trainings to develop their skills and teaching. So I think if government is going to help, they should help with trainings, developmental trainings for teachers, where they are being trained and taught how to use modern day tools in teaching. You understand? And then they should create an infrastructure in schools that will help them to be able to implement this thing. Because if you have said, okay, on a global scale, everybody's coming to class with iPad, everybody's coming to class, classes are happening on the screen, and we've done the training, and we'll go back to school. We are still seeing damaged boards. We are still seeing, there is not even marker, you're having
chalk to use, alright?
So, what do you think is going to happen? I don't know if you're getting my point. So teachers needs to be encouraged. Sometimes the incentive you give teachers may not even be actually money, but when you give them the tools, and the tool for them to work, it makes them help them to do better.
Yeah, it does. It does.
There was a time we had to contribute money to just change the boards of some
while in
schools,
school.
To make it a marker
board.
Marker boards. And some parents have to take it upon themselves to do this.
But I should also say that,
how can the government really understand so that it will be easy for all those teachers?
So all of them.
They're doing a great job, but what is the essence of doing so much? And you are supposed to have some, just like talk about incentive. When you are working so hard, there should be something that will continue to encourage
motivate you to put you on your toes.
See what you are doing. We understand. That's why I had to ask that question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That apart from giving them trainings, infrastructure should be made available. You understand? And apart from that infrastructure, government should. I don't think it's been a while ahead of something like that, but I think back in the days, teachers are appreciated. The teachers have been doing so well in this area and they're appreciated. It doesn't have to be something so serious or so much, but what comes with you being recognized. Like I'm doing something and somebody's recognizing my job.
Some districts do teacher gifts like a car, house or something like that.
Do you understand?
I know there was a time they were doing something. So, I don't know whether they still have that.
I don't think they still have those things. So you see, when we have such infrastructure, such programs in place, it encourages teachers, and thankfully, unlike when we're in school, that teachers will say they have arrears of payments, they've not been paid. Thankfully, those ones, I think, I still remember, maybe I was in primary school, maybe in secondary school, I can't remember the president then, where they were saying that, house for rent, teachers don't apply. Because they know that you have backlog of, do you understand? So I think, one of the things government can do is we have the schools already. Create a structure that gives them the opportunity to go develop themselves, build themselves up, and apart from building themselves up, give them the infrastructures they need. Because if I've gone to develop myself, I'd interact with people that have global mindset, and I had to come back to school. There's nothing global in the school that I can interact with. So government should do that. And parents too, I think some government schools parents are doing so well. So they should keep chipping in the best they can, because they should also understand that, yes, the government should do, but this affects our children directly.
To an extent, I also feel like while we are calling on the government, just like you said, parents to have a role. There are some parents that can donate certain things to school. It's not necessarily the government coming on your own. You could, if you know that your school, maybe they are using a marker, but that is something you can buy. You can buy packs of marker. You can give to teachers. You can give them, yes, you can on your own, because your kids are in that school and they are learning from that school.
So anyway, it's time for us to round up as we leave the studio.
Yeah, time has gone. It's fast spent.
To the next program. So I want to say a big thank you for your advice.
Thank you so much
for eating us up.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Learn those things. You need to Joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. I am Princess Joy Ayo Abu. I'll see you tomorrow with a difference. Please understand the different learning skills and apply them at home.
Okay, Bukola has done a great job this morning, so we still want to say a big thank you for coming, and we wish you the very best of today. On that note, tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day. By the grace of the Almighty God, who will keep you and I, all of us, better. I want to say a big thank you, because tomorrow we're talking about it is never too late to move on. Never too late for you to move on. You just need to keep moving, be resilient, be strong, and keep moving. You'll get there. So I want to say a big thank you to all our crew, from the camera to the editor to the MCR, to our darling Irebami, missing you for some time now. We love you. Thank you also to Kalista for bringing our guests upstairs. Thank you to everyone who has made today's episode wonderful. For staying tuned, we love you. Please go and like, follow, and also comment on our show today. Thank you to our supervising producer, and to our president. Thank you so much. So as you may know, we hope to see you tomorrow. Have a splendid day. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy it. Enjoy. Sleep if you want to sleep. Watch a movie. Do anything. Just enjoy it. Have a